Hello, Gwenters, and welcome back for a Thirsty Thursday. We are covering a little bit of a satire deck, calling this Endless Removal. We're running Masquerade Ball for the poisons, Vautier for the seas, Karathi for the banish, Vincent for the ultimate destruction, Yen for the steal, Mata to make sure we get those, Vilgefortz for the erasure, and to force out a unit our opponent doesn't want to play, often to the wrong row. Used that on myself accidentally. To pull out actually Vautier to the wrong row. Vautier has to go to melee, just something to keep in mind. Marching orders for consistency with Roderick. Now, I will say though, we are running tourney jousts and assassinations. You could run this marching order. Personally, I'm going to be swapping this out for Helga. I just like the Helga as a pressure play. Also allows us to set up for amnesties. And because this is not a devotion deck, we're not getting that automatic boost. So it is very helpful for that. Imperial Diviners giving us our assimilates and purifies. Purify being the thing of value there. Tourney Jousts, assassinations for removal. Hunting Pack for draw consistency. And we're always going to have some kind of status. Veil, if nothing else, on the enemy. Then Van Morlehem Hunters here for aristocrat plays and locks. So this is a really fun deck. But it also speaks to kind of the current meta and how annoyed I am by the fact that it's all constant removal, nothing but removal all day long, and then removal and lots of like multi-unit tempo play. There's only a few decks that play really well around it, and I have had some fun doing them, but we'll just jump in here and see what our opponent likes to do. Imposter being another good option for this deck. I do like Imposter doesn't do the damage, and so it can actually be really useful for the Vautier seal. Here, you just want to make sure you have a couple of aristocrats. We only have the one. We probably don't need both amnesties this round, although we do have Helga. It does play into the rest of these cards pretty well. So we'll put back Master of Disguise and carry Van Morlehem Hunter with Ball for really good plays this round, and then likely saving our tactics for next. We are on red coin, which gives us a bit of flexibility here. One other option, you can run Vivian in this deck. She can boost up, notably Vincent, all the way up to 10 points, and also reset other units like Magnetic Vision back down to whatever their provision cost is. So lots of options we have there. Here we're going to set up Hefty Helga. She does have a shield. She might get removed, it's true, by an opposing tourney joust. Most broken 4 provision special card in the game. But if not, we're going to go ahead and set up for a really good amnesty here with Magnetic Visions coming into the ranged row. Our opponent instead opting to steal our Helga, which I find to be very interesting. Petrie's Filter giving them good boost here as well. Really weird play with Petrie's Filter here, being the only card in that row. I'm just very confused at what our opponent's trying to do there. But here we're going to go ahead and use a Tourney Joust on their Helga, bringing it down within range, although we may see this Petrie's Filter come out just to boost it up. If not, we'll go ahead and steal it using Amnesty. And just setting up this Magnetic Vision for ourselves for later on with this amnesty. Damien Delatour refreshing the leader ability, using Petrie's Filter to go ahead and grab this Hefty Helga back. This is quite a fun game of us going back and forth. Nothing but pure removal. Am I right or am I right? We don't want to sit on these charges, mostly so our opponent can't steal it back, but also because we want to make sure we're getting maximum value out of our Hefty Helga here. Matahori does have to go to range throw, so I'd like to avoid playing her for as long as possible. Rod Tosser being a bit of an interesting play from our opponent. If they want to poison a 2-point Helga, by all means they can go for it. Here, I just want to see maximum value out of this Helga before it disappears forever. We'll go ahead and use Assassination. Attack these melee row units. Wishing we had Yen's Invocation this round just to steal this Damien. So here I think we'll actually just play Mata to see if we can't go ahead and grab that. Double poison being problematic here, but probably not enough to seal the deal for our opponent. Vautier as our 11-point unit. Should have remembered that. I did not for some reason. We are where we are. Still have Masquerade Ball with double double aristocrats. I'd like to carry that into next round if possible. Here, most of our units needing deploys. So we're going to go ahead and hold off on using Vilgefortz on our own unit. Potentially using it on our opponents. Just kind of want to see what they decide to put out here. Vautier is also an aristocrat, by the way, so you can use him for the poison proc as well when using Masquerade Ball. Mage Infiltrator, a bit of an interesting choice here. I think we'll save Vilgefort and go ahead and set up Masquerade Ball. Our opponent might opt to get out of this round now. If I was them, I probably would. If not, they may find it very difficult to hang in.
Few boats dare venture into the Von Borlohem's wood.
They do still continue to have this imposter ability. So we'll want to show our opponent nothing but low value units or units with deploy abilities. Knowing that that's basically what we carry in this deck, I'm not entirely concerned. Oh, lucky to see Yen's Invocation. Still wanting to see Karathi Heatwave. And probably wanting to see Karathi Heatwave, Von Hamar, Roderick, and Petrie's Filter being the notable missing cards. So we will want to get out this hunting pack just to improve our consistency of draws here. Which does force us to make some poor choices with these other cards. Van Norlehem Hunter coming down as the unit we just have to play down. If our opponent chooses to just trade tactics here, we won't have a lot of options available to us. We'll have to miss out on this hunting pack. And pray we don't brick into the second one of it in next round. But if our opponent plays a good engine, we can go ahead and play Vilgefortz. If they play any unit with status, shield, veil, poison, whatever it might be, we can go ahead and use hunting pack. For thinning, if it's something we really want for later on, we can go ahead and use Yen's Invocation. Invocation being important for the first 2 rounds if you want to use it again. Otherwise, it's just a crazy removal tool. You can just go ahead and yoink a unit, no questions asked. A Seer being a pretty good option. Our opponent opting to put Damien back into their deck. Here, I do like a Seer, but I would rather steal a Damien. So we're going to go ahead and force something out of their deck, not knowing what it'll be. And Morleham Hunter being a fine but not amazing option. Our leader ability does represent 3 damage, whereas the opponent's is just a lock and steal. Oh, Fifion does have defender status. This is perfect for us. I think we'll play Hunting Pack, and then depending on what our opponent decides to play next, we can go ahead and steal it with Yen's Invocation, lock the next card that they play. All of those being great options, but I wouldn't mind having a Fifion to protect Vautier in the event that we can't get Petrie's Filter. Van Morlehem, Vincent also being a decent option here.
Proceed according to plan.
Then perhaps we might be able to steal the Vautier for double Vautier play.
Necessary for one's health.
Endless removal. Our opponent not quite knowing what to do about it. I think we're going to see a lock on Vilgefortz with a steal. But just because we still have both of our steals left, I think we are going to go ahead and steal the Vautier. Too much fun stuff we can do with it. Thirsty Dame coming down to close the gap. We don't really want to spend either of our cards, so we're going to go ahead and pass here. Opponent does have a Neuromancy. They did use a Seer, so it will be interesting to see exactly how this next round plays out. It is better to have Vautier for final say, but I will say having double Vautiers oh, with a Karathi Heatwave is just a bit oppressive. Yeah, nothing else. I mean, if we would have a Roderick with a Vanhamar, we could get the auto kill, but this is... Why get the auto... I mean, Karathi Heatwave doesn't represent points to our side of the board, I suppose. We'll probably go Karathi, Petrie, put down a Vautier, and then see if it sticks while we have another Vautier out. Here, Masquerade Ball represents 2 Aristocrat procs later on, so we're going to go ahead and erase that. How many Nilfgaard decks run Karathi Heatwave? Tell you, not very many, because it's already an oppressive faction. In case you were ever wondering exactly what to do about that. Will be interesting to see what our opponent opts to play here. They do have final say, which does put us in a bit of an awkward position.
Out of the way, rabble!
Our opponent doesn't have a Petrie's Filter. No way to guarantee this Damien doesn't get stolen. We obviously don't want him cloning 2 of our boys. So we're going to go ahead and lock him. And again, saving our Petrie's Filter for our other Vautier. This Roderick being a decent number of points for ourselves. And we represented a bit of clunkiness in our first round, needing to get out that ball a little bit too early so that we could pressure. Probably should have let our opponent attempt to bleed instead of cranking down the pressure so hard. Will be interesting to see what our opponent has here. If they opt to go for this imposter now or next turn. Taking their sweet time to make these choices. Fangs of the Empire representing a very interesting choice here. Go ahead and steal one of these thirsty dames and the Damien. And then they get this disloyal spying proc, which is what's boosting up this thirsty dame. We'll just have to see what the opponent has. This imposter, though, virtually guaranteeing them the win here. My only hope is that their last card is something terrible, and it's not. Our opponent just played better than we did. I think we missed out on our plays the first round, so just should have been a little bit more patient with that ball. I'm too excited to get some of this stuff out. But I think you guys are starting to get a sense for how this deck can work. We'll jump into another game. Again, look, this isn't even a meme deck. This is purely a satire deck. And I think I just want people to get the sense that even though we didn't win that game, we were close, right? Oh my gosh.
There is but one punishment for traitors.
Oh, Lockdown representing just the other obnoxious play that people do like to make. So we will be relying on Venmore Hunters for the removals. Here, though, we really only need one of these Purifies. Hunting Pack being unnecessary. We will be saving that lock for later. It's a much better hand. Collar giving us some good flexibility as well. Roderick giving us option of 2 golds. We have only one aristocrat that would count as played. So here I think we're actually just going to go ahead and set up Hefty Helga, since we have an amnesty in hand with an assassination. Would have been better to have more tactics, but this works out for us. This deck could use something like Magnet Division if you'd prefer. Magnet Division might actually be a better option than the Agents of Master of Disguise if you're looking to be competitive. Personally, this is fine. This is why we carry a Purify.
Stars contend you shall be victorious today.
Just because there's likely to be another. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that. Roderick actually representing some of the best points you can go ahead and grab with Fenmore Hunters. Well, I think I probably would have just played Attorney Joust myself. Vilgefortz does represent good forced plays, but not really necessary here. So I think we're just going to go ahead and use Amnesty to pull this over. Force our opponent to make some tougher choices. As a mirror match, decks seem to always have some weirdness, for the lack of a better term. We may just be playing Roderick here to set up the hunting pack, but Magnet Division setting up nicely for us, making sure this collar finds some value. Take a nice lead here. Still carrying Assassination and Vilgefortz for really good removal. We'll wait to see what our opponent plays. Neuromancy. Neuromancy really expensive to carry in a lockdown deck.
No one refuses me. Have I something in my teeth? Never.
Wait to see if our opponent opts to play an expensive and hefty aristocrat. If so, wouldn't be so bad to go ahead and steal them.
A taste of Northling, is it?
Use Vilgefortz here to get rid of the main engine.
No one.
Poison's still representing some value, but really making it difficult for our opponent to keep up using ball. The 8-point play with the second poison being mediocre at best. Personally, I don't really love our opponent's choice.
They truly spoil us.
Thinking can be hazardous to your health.
We are now tied with our opponent. They're out of great cards, so we're going to go ahead and play Roderick here.
What is it you want?
And I think here we'll just go ahead and use Crothy Heatwave. Get rid of this Thirsty Day. And you may wonder why here. I know my opponent is wanting to make some good plays to hold on to a win with a Masquerade Ball. And I'm waiting for that great play to come down to go ahead and steal it with Yen's Invocation. Even if we go down a card, the value of having their best card for a future round could be invaluable. But instead our opponent opts to pass. We'll go ahead and pass here as well. See if we can't draw into our own ball or Matahori. Still looking for Vautier, but Vautier in a lockdown situation not being as much of a tasty treat. Mata looking really nice here with our ball, also lengthening our round. We do need another aristocrat though. We don't quite get one. But here I think we'll play Mata with an assassination to stay up ahead.
For young is the night.
See if our opponent plays something like a Fifion, just so our Yen's Invocation can get maximum value. And we are looking for 3 out of the remaining 9 cards. We just need one of those 3. So our odds being pretty good to grab another aristocrat. Joachim actually playing pretty well into our hands, as we can just go ahead and let that get boosted up and steal it when it feels best to us. Because we do need that second though, I think we're going to go ahead and steal this Magne Division. 10-point play, very difficult for Nilfgaard to make when it's against 2 cards, other than with Joachim. Seeing the Oneiromancy come out here, looking for coup de grace, unless it's playing off a really high base value unit like Nilfgaardian Knight. They still won't have quite enough points.
I shall flog them into submission.
The Van Morlehems have
Oh, the 13-point Van Morlehem Cupbearer looking pretty nice right now. This lock with Destroy being quite valuable. I think we're going to take our chances here. Pray that we draw into 2 aristocrats. If not, if we only get 1 aristocrat, we could have some troubles. But this 13-point removal just being a little too nice for us to ignore.
Tell me what you got.
We can still use this assassination if necessary to close the gap. 8-point plays being really difficult though. Should have thought about coup de grace. I don't know why I didn't think about coup de grace, but now we have. Opponent really struggling to think of what to do next. We are going to draw for sure into that Magna Division, which does clutter our deck and our options a little bit. Forcing out this Roderick, though, prematurely is quite nice for us. And Fifiam coming down at a hefty 7 points. Still not enough to close the gap. We're going to go ahead and pass here. Obtaining assassination is a good play on red coin, just to force away our opponent's first play. Especially as part of a lockdown deck that has already played Fifion and Ball. Our opponent may struggle just to find value next round. Now we are seeing a Banish come down. Doesn't really matter much to us, but it is a choice our opponent has opted to make. We really do need that Van Morlehem Hunter for the lock as well. Otherwise, there's no reason to even worry about maintaining Petrie's Filter in our hand. Ugh. No great options here. We are missing that lock. Vautier being really not that valuable other than a scenario trigger. So we'll go ahead and use him as bait. Petrie's Filter otherwise not being super valuable to us. Missing the second Aristocrat. We took a gamble and it did not pay off. So we'll just be praying for some excellent removal here. Seer likely shuffling back Masquerade Ball. Our opponent not having a lot of other value. Rot Tosser being fine, not really affecting our choices one way or the other. Probably do want to get down this Masquerade Ball just for value. As we will be putting up something. I don't know. We will be proccing 1 poison with Vautier. Although this Bomb Heaver finding great value, making our heartburn a little less severe. No reason to hold on to Vautier at this point. We'll go ahead and play him down, see if we can't force some removal from our opponent away from Thirsty Dame onto Vautier. We'll use Imperial Diviner with the Assimilate, as this Magna Division did not arise in our deck. Ends up being the same amount of points either way. Van Morlehem Hunter with the lock being a decent option, them not knowing what we're about to do. But here I think we can go ahead, put some pressure on our opponent. Make them worry more than they need to worry, but that's always valuable. Yen's Invocation coming down on the 3-point unit. Actually being quite nice here. We do get that Assimilate proc plus the boost. We have either a 4-point removal or a 4-point boost. All kind of comes down to what our next play is. We don't have any units with status, so this ends up being quite nice for us. Go ahead and boost up Magni Division. And we take the win in the mirror against Lockdown by just running more removal than our obnoxious opponent has run. You think that was played much better by me, even though we still played that Roderick into some poor plays, and we missed a second Aristocrat in round 3. So we entirely missed Vincent, actually. So running that without Vincent was a little annoying. But let me know what you guys think about this deck, what you think about the current state of the meta. Please put that down in the comments. Join me on Twitch. Please join the Discord. Let me know what you guys are thinking and cooking up. But until next time, good luck getting out there. Enjoy yourselves. Keep on Gwenting.